targeted the Nevatim and the Ramon airbase, both in southern Israel. The Israeli Air Force drills are taking place amidst reports that Tel Aviv has not ruled out the possibility of staging an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities in the coming months. Last week, the New York Times had reported that the state of Israel had prepared to strike the Iranian nuclear facilities in the month of May in order to delay Tehran's capacity to build a nuclear weapon. In other developments, at least about 8 U.S. Air Force C-17 Globemaster transport aircraft were tracked flying from the Ramstein Air Base in Germany to Israel's Nevatim Air Base on Sunday. Now, the operation, reported by the open source intelligence monitors, has been part of a broader U.S. mission to bolster Israel's defenses since the 10th of April. At least about 25 C-17 flights have reportedly landed in Israel, ferrying what are described as air defense systems. Now, Israel's Nevatim Air Base is one of the largest bases that is operated by the Israeli Air Force. It hosts the advanced aircraft like the F-35 stealth fighters and also serves as a hub for missile defense systems, including the U.S. Army's THAAD battery that have been deployed nearby. Due to its proximity to potential threats, it seems that efforts are now being made to fortify the Nevatim Air Base and also to position it as a frontline bulwark against any kind of an Iranian missile strike. Meanwhile, the Pentagon advisor Dan Caldwell, who was fired with several other Defense Department officials amidst the leak investigations, has warned of the risks that are involved in a war with Iran. Now, speaking with the U.S. commentator Tucker Carlson, he said that a war with Iran risks being incredibly costly in terms of lives and also in terms of dollars, and could cause extreme instability across the Middle East. He's also added that it could be lives of Americans, Saudis, Iranians, Iraqis, and also Israelis. On the other hand, the U.S. Central Command has shared some new footage of its campaign against the Houthis, saying that the U.S. aircraft Harry S. Truman continues with its round-the-clock attacks in the Red Sea against the Houthis. On Monday, Yemen's Houthis said that the U.S. attacks on Sana'a had killed about 12 people and wounded 34 others. Later, a military spokesperson said that the attacks on U.S. aircraft carrier and the State of Israel were also given effect.
گذشته دادن.
You said you don't think they want to use intermediaries anymore. Did they send another letter? Yeah.
Did the UAE let you know about this?
I know for a fact. I think they'd like to have direct talks.
Can you say anything about what the letter said from Iran?
No, I'm just telling you, I think they want to have, forget about letters, I think they want to have direct talks.
Iran has fortified its security around 2 underground tunnel complexes linked to its main nuclear facility in Natanz. Just days before, the US and Iran are all set to hold their third round of talks this weekend, and that's on Tehran's nuclear program. According to a report by the Institute for Science and International Security, Iran has strengthened the entrances to the 2 complexes, erected high wall panels along a road leading to the complexes, and also carried out extensive excavations for potentially installing more defenses. David Albright, the head of the institute, says that the new perimeter and increased security measures suggest that the tunnel complexes beneath Mount Kolangalzla could become operational soon. He added that the complexes are built at depths much greater than Iran's deeply buried uranium enrichment facility at Fordo. Iran has publicly admitted that it is increasing security measures at all its nuclear sites. Iran's nuclear chief, Mohammad Islami, told Iranian media, and I'm quoting him here, efforts are ongoing to expand protective measures at nuclear sites. But why is Iran fortifying its nuclear sites now? Well, there are multiple reasons behind this. Number one, earlier this week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered what appeared to be a war rehearsal against Iran. The Israeli Air Force conducted drills for potential Iranian missile attacks on Israeli air bases. Netanyahu's direction, in fact, came just a week after the New York Times reported that Israel is preparing to strike Iranian nuclear sites as early as this May. That is just a week from now. However, US President Donald Trump vetoed Netanyahu's plans and opted for diplomacy with Tehran rather than aggression. But Netanyahu has once again vowed to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons.
The extremist regime in Iran is a threat to the fate and existence, not only to our future, but to the fate and future of all human society. We will prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons.
And that's not all. Remember, Trump has threatened to bomb Iran unless the nuclear deal is quickly reached with Tehran. And US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has asserted that Trump is determined to prevent Tehran from procuring a nuclear weapon. Rubio's comments come amidst mass mobilization of American warplanes towards Israel. Based on open-source intelligence monitors, at least 8 U.S. Air Force C-17A Globemaster III transport aircraft flew from Ramstein Air Base in Germany to Israel's Nevatim Air Base, while at least 25 C-17 flights have landed in Israel, transporting air defense systems. So, as America and Israel prepare for potential strikes and Iran fortifies its nuclear facilities, all eyes remain fixed on the upcoming nuclear talks between Washington and Tehran this Saturday.
Trump has voiced optimism at avoiding a military strike on Tehran's nuclear sites and said that a deal was close on Iran's nuclear program earlier. A top advisor to Iran's supreme leader has said that Tehran was ready to sign a nuclear deal with the Trump administration under certain conditions. In return for lifting economic sanctions, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's top political, military, and nuclear advisor, Ali Shamkhani, spoke with NBC News. Khamenei's top aide said that Iran will commit that it won't build nuclear weapons, get rid of its enriched uranium, will enrich uranium for only civilian use, and let international inspectors monitor everything if all economic sanctions are lifted immediately. The statement appears to be the most straightforward comment yet from the supreme leader's inner circle, underlying Tehran's expectations of the United States, expressing readiness to reach an agreement. In the NBC interview, the Iranian commander also said that Tehran could easily sign the deal with the United States. This is Shamkhani's interview with NBC. If Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stopped trying to derail the process through back-channeling lobbying in Washington, Iran has always denied that it is seeking to develop a nuclear weapon, but the UN's nuclear watchdog IAEA says Tehran has enriched enough uranium close to weapons-grade quality to make 6 nuclear bombs. U.S. President said that he's committed to achieving a peaceful resolution to Iran's nuclear program and stressed that the responsibility now lies in Tehran's hands to engage in negotiations.
Working with us very closely with respect to negotiating a deal with Iran, which is the far friendlier course that you would see. I mean, we have 2 courses. There's only 2 courses. There aren't 3 or 4 or 5. There's 2. There's a friendly and a non-friendly, and the non-friendly is a violent course, and I don't want that.
In a surprising turn of events, Iran has proposed a new nuclear framework that could majorly shift the course of its standoff with America. Instead of dismantling its nuclear program, Iran now suggests a joint regional venture involving American investment and the participation from Arab nations. Let's break it down for you. The Iranian foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, reportedly floated this idea during recent back-channel talks in Oman. And what was the idea? A 3-country consortium, likely involving Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, where Iran would enrich uranium only up to a low grade suitable for civilian use. That enriched uranium would then be exported to other countries in the region. The plan even proposes a permanent international oversight system, possibly including American observers, something that was absent from the 2015 nuclear deal that the Trump administration famously abandoned. And while Iranian media has framed it as a new plan on the negotiating table, U.S. officials are reportedly pushing back. A spokesman for U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff has denied any such proposal came up during the talks. And so far, neither Saudi Arabia nor the UAE publicly endorsed the idea. Previously, both these countries have shown interest in developing civilian nuclear programs, and both have expressed concern over Iran's nuclear ambitions. So this deal might place them in a delicate balancing act. Back in Riyadh, former President Donald Trump, who is currently on a regional visit, signaled an openness to diplomacy. He said, and I'm quoting here, "If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy. But time is running out." He warned, basically, that Iran must act soon or face harsher sanctions. Just to be clear, this is not the first time the idea of a regional enrichment framework has come up. Long before the current Iran-US talks last year, former Iranian diplomat Saeed Hossein and Princeton physicist Frank von Hippel proposed the idea in a widely read October 2023 article in the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. The idea, they argued, could actually erase American concerns by limiting Iran's enrichment capacity and including permanent safeguards. Under the consortium, the Saudis and the UAE would be shareholders and funders and have access to Iranian technology. The involvement of the Gulf states could be seen as an extra insurance that Iran's nuclear program was only for civilian purposes and not to build a bomb like Israel alleges. According to reports, Iran currently enriches uranium to 60% purity, and that is far above the 3.67% limit set in the 2015 deal. And it's also a short technical step from the 90% required for weapons-grade material. In fact, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says these uranium enrichment levels are far higher than necessary for civilian uses. Very significant. So if what Iran is proposing does go ahead, it would face some challenges. Would U.S. companies invest in Iranian nuclear infrastructure is the immediate question. Would Saudi and Emirati rivals cooperate with Iran? These are the big questions that we are asking. And for now, the proposal remains just that, an idea. But does it signal a shift in Iran's tone and possibly a crack in what was looking like a diplomatic deadlock even a month ago? Whether this is a real opportunity or just nuclear rhetoric, only time will tell.
Iran has unveiled a new ballistic missile, Qasem-Basir, which it claims can bypass the U.S.'s THAAD anti-ballistic defense system. Footage released by the Iranian state TV showed the missile being test-fired at an unknown location. Iran claims the missile has a range of up to 1,300 kilometers. Now, speaking to Iranian state TV after unveiling the ballistic missile, Defense Minister Nazizadeh warned that Tehran will hit U.S. bases in the region if a war is imposed on Iran.
If we are attacked, if a war is imposed on us, we will give a powerful response. We will attack their interests, their bases, without any reservations or limitations. We have no hostility towards neighboring countries. They are our brothers, but American bases are our targets.
Amidst rising tensions and delay in the next round of talks, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that the goal of the negotiations with Iran is to achieve the full dismantlement of Tehran's nuclear program. The statement assumes significance as it is the first time that Trump has outlined the ambitious goal since nuclear talks began with Iran. However, Trump added that he is open to hearing arguments in favor of Iran having a civilian nuclear program, an idea that is poorly supported by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Meanwhile, Iran-backed Houthi rebels reported around 10 strikes in and around capital Sana'a. According to Houthi Health Ministry, at least 14 people were wounded in the American strikes. The American strikes come a day after a missile launched by Yemen's Houthis struck Israel's Ben Gurion International Airport. The rebel group has now pledged fresh strikes on Israeli airports. In a video statement, Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Sarrea warned that the rebel group would repeatedly target the Ben Gurion Airport and will impose a comprehensive air blockade.
The Yemeni armed forces announced that they will work to impose a comprehensive air blockade on the Israeli enemy by repeatedly targeting airports, most notably Lod Airport, known in Israel as Ben Gurion Airport.
The following threats from the Houthis, major airlines including German carrier Lufthansa, France's Air France, U.S. carrier Delta and Hungary's Wizz Air have cancelled their scheduled flights to Tel Aviv. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to respond to the Houthis and its patron Iran for the missile attack. Speaking alongside Cyprus President, Netanyahu warned that Israel will take strong action and give Iran a due warning.
As far as the trade routes, obviously we're being challenged. The whole world is being challenged by the Houthis, including in the dastardly attack they did today near Ben Gurion Airport. We will not tolerate it.
Responding to Netanyahu's threat, Iran's Defense Minister Aziz Nasrizadeh said that Tehran will strike back if attacked by U.S. or Israel. In an interview to Iranian state TV, Nasrizadeh warned that Iran will target Israeli and American interests wherever they may be. Meanwhile, at least 19 people were killed in 2 Israeli strikes on Monday. According to Gaza's Civil Defense Agency, an Israeli strike on 3 apartments in northwest Gaza killed 15 people, mostly women and children. One in Beit Lahiya, 4 people were killed in an Israeli strike on a house.
And Israel gave a stern warning to Iran, saying it would do to Iran what it has done to Hamas in Gaza. Well, this after Iran-backed Houthi rebels attacked its airport. Defense Minister Israel Katz has warned Iranian leaders against financing, arming and exploiting the Houthi terrorist organization. Katz added that Israel would do to Tehran what it has done to Hezbollah in Beirut, to Hamas in Gaza and Assad in Damascus. He reiterated that Israel would not allow any entity to harm the country. Reacting to Israel's threat, Iran's Revolutionary Guard's chief Hossein Salami said any attack by the US or Israel would open the gates to hell. On May 4th, Yemen's Houthis attacked Israel's Ben Gurion airport, prompting Israeli military to carry out an airstrike on Yemen's airport in Sana'a and 3 power stations. Now, Iran has denied any role in the attack. However, Houthis claim their repeated attacks on Israel and on shipping in the Red Sea are in solidarity with the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, where Hamas sparked a war in October 2023 by launching an unprecedented attack on Israel. Israel's threat come after Iran and the United States engaged in 3 rounds of nuclear talks, their highest level contact since Washington withdrew from a landmark deal with Tehran in 2018. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for dismantling Iran's nuclear program. Netanyahu said that a credible deal must remove Iran's capacity to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons and prevent the development of ballistic missiles. Now, Iran, on the other hand, insists that its nuclear program is for civilian purposes. Now let's shift our focus to West Asia, where Israel gave a stern warning to Iran, saying it would do to Iran what it has done to Hamas in Gaza. Now this after Iran-backed Houthi rebels attacked its airport. Defense Minister Israel Katz warned Iranian leaders against financing, arming and exploiting the Houthi terrorist organization. Katz added that Israel would do to Tehran what it has done to Hezbollah in Beirut, to Hamas in Gaza and Assad in Damascus. He reiterated that Israel would not allow any entity to harm the country. Now, reacting to Israel's threat, Iran's Revolutionary Guard's chief Hossein Salami said any attack by the United States or Israel would open the gates of hell. On May 4th, Yemen's Houthis attacked Israel's Ben Gurion airport, prompting Israeli military to carry out an airstrike on Yemen's airport in Sana'a and 3 power stations. Well, Iran has denied any role in the attack. Houthis claim that their repeated attacks on Israel and on the shipping in the Red Sea are in solidarity with the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, where Hamas sparked a war in October 2023 by launching an unprecedented attack on Israel. Israel's threats come after Iran and the United States engaged in 3 rounds of nuclear talks, which is their highest level contact since Washington withdrew from a landmark deal with Tehran in 2018. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for dismantling Iran's nuclear program. Netanyahu said that a credible deal must remove Iran's capacity to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons and prevent the development of ballistic missiles, while Iran, on the other hand, insists that its nuclear program is for civilian purposes.
The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that the Syrian Transitional Authority may be just weeks away from collapse, raising the specter of renewed full-scale civil war. Rubio also addressed the increasingly complex nuclear negotiations with Iran, cautioning lawmakers that any deal would not be easy. He said the Trump administration is offering Iran a pathway to prosperity in exchange for giving up uranium enrichment and limiting its nuclear ambitions to peaceful energy use.
Our hope is that we can encourage them to show them a path towards prosperity and peace that allow them to develop their economy, that allow them, if they want, to have a civil nuclear energy program like other countries around the world have without enrichment. And it's our hope we can encourage them in that direction. The president